Yo, hello everybody and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash. I hope you're having an amazing week. Currently it is Thursday and let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the charts as Bitcoin right now is failing to have a breakout and a candle closure above this high right here I was talking about in my previous video. While Bitcoin was breaking and we were up here, I have told you that we wanna see a daily candle closure above this level here, basically above 112k, this low, which is also this previous all-time high, and also this very important high right here. Basically we had two very key levels that we needed to hold and break above. Basically we wanted to hold this level and then we wanted to break above this high right here, but as you can see, none of this happened as Bitcoin got absolutely rejected from that here. As you can see, once the candle failed to close above, then we are getting a very massive move to the downside. As you can see, Bitcoin is down 2.6% basically, so we are still pushing to the downside. We might even get some kind of a correction like the one that we got here. Basically another 6% of a move would take us all the way down to 105k, which would be my first target for a potential buy opportunity and for a potential long position. Basically that would be a very low risk trade out of this low right here, as we are going to see some kind of reaction, since if you look at the liquidity, you can see 106 to 105, there is a lot of liquidity sitting right here basically at this low, but we might even go lower, basically a fake out or even to sweep that liquidity. So we might drop further down to around 102k. This is also a possibility, but the lower price targets are still standing for now. But more importantly, we want to see basically a reversal of this range right here. As you can see, 104k basically down to this low, which has not been swept yet. So in my opinion, if Bitcoin plays out exactly like I think it would, we are going to see something like this, basically drop to down here 105k. We get some kind of a reaction, potentially go and test this falling wedge pattern right here, and then a potential breakout to sweep that low right here. But as I said, this is going to be taking some time to play out. In my opinion, this is the most probable and safe scenario if you want to look for potential long positions. Basically this is why you wanna wait. As you can see, if we had tried and long the breakout yesterday while we were above this line, as you can see, price got a massive rejection and is right now dropping further down. As you can see right now, we are also even dropping below that weekly pivot right here, which is not good. We are having a 4-hourly candle open and basically we closed that 4-hourly candle below the weekly pivot. So for the rest of the week, basically for today and tomorrow, I would be leaning more bearish to the downside until we get to that 105 104k level for Bitcoin, so we can see some kind of a reaction, since as you can see, this low right here has been tested too many times. We have had 1 2 3 4 5 6 bounces from this low. So these are poor lows for right now. If the downward movement continues, and they are going to be lost in my opinion. So basically Bitcoin right now would continue to push lower. Basically maybe over the weekend we do have some fake out move to the upside. We also do have some important news tomorrow. You can see unemployment rate, basically hourly earnings. Basically this news tomorrow would give some fuel to the markets. Potentially we are going to be seeing some very high volatility in the stock markets and also in Bitcoin. And if we look at Ethereum right now, Ethereum is having a perfect rejection, basically a perfect test and a rejection from that weekly pivot right now. After we pumped up there, we are having a 4.3% move to the downside. And as I have said, if Bitcoin continues to drop further to the downside, so will Ethereum. Basically we wanna see Bitcoin, as I said, find a bottom in order for Ethereum to start pushing again, and we also wanna see the Bitcoin dominance start falling to the downside. Right now, the Bitcoin dominance is looking kind of potentially bullish. I don't want to say overly bullish, since on the high time frame you can see we do have we are still in that downtrend. Basically, the Bitcoin dominance, we have not yet had a break of structure. Potentially we will see break of structure if we close above this high on the daily time frame right here, and then if we try and reclaim this trend line. So basically, for a break of structure, we would want to see something like this, and even then we have still that high right here. So overall, I am still leaning bearish for the Bitcoin dominance. We might see the Bitcoin dominance range a bit before it does something. So this is my outlook for the Bitcoin dominance. My outlook for Solana would be Solana is still keeping a very nice level, still above that value area high. So as long as Solana remains above here and ranging, the next move for Solana, in my opinion, would be towards the all-time highs. Since Ethereum had its time and Solana still hasn't pushed to its all-time high, it is taking a little while longer, but this was because Ethereum was dominant, as you can see. But right now we are seeing Bitcoin start to drop, basically, and this will be the time once Bitcoin finds a actual bottom right around those levels, in my opinion, 98 to 93, or maybe even potentially somewhere between right here. As you know, we might front run some of those levels, so we might drop and we might not sweep those lows, which is in my opinion it won't happen, since they have not been swept yet and we have had a very long time without sweeping them. So it is possible that, as I said, we front run them, but in my opinion we might sweep those lows, get a fake out potentially, and we might front run the deeper levels. The deeper levels, they do not get potentially hit as often in such a uptrend, so we might front run the deeper levels, and then we are potentially going to see Bitcoin having that final push towards the upside, towards 150,000 US dollars. That is also my target sitting for the end of the year. Basically, we might get it, we might not, nobody knows for sure, but this is still my price target, which is basically sitting right there. And since my lowest target for Bitcoin would be sitting at right around $93,000, that is my lowest target. I do not expect Bitcoin to be breaking lower than this level right here. You can mark my words, you can save this video for later, but you see, I will be right. Bitcoin will not drop further down. In my opinion, this is of course not a financial advice, but this is my personal opinion of the markets. In my opinion, this year, the year 2025, we will not drop lower than this price. Maybe even we won't even reach this price, but I'm for sure that we won't drop lower than this price, and we will potentially reach my higher price target of the yearly pivot. Basically, there it is, 150,000 US dollars is my final target for Bitcoin for the year. And so if we look at some other data, let me just close this. As you can see, we are getting some kind of a reaction from Bitcoin on that weekly pivot. Bitcoin is trying to hold. Maybe we can sweep this low right here, and then we can get some kind of another test. But if we manage to get above it, we can potentially recover a bit before a potential drop to the downside. But right now, as I said, things are looking weak. If we look at the liquidation heat map, you can see not much stronger liquidity. The most liquidity is sitting right now to the downside on a higher liquidity time frame chart. This is the 3-month chart. Also, something to watch out for is today we got BlackRock buying massive amounts of Bitcoin. Only them, you can see we got 300 million and 290 million basically from those buys were from BlackRock alone. As you can see, they started to accumulate again on these lower prices. So if they're accumulating here that much price down from the all-time high, basically at 109k, basically at the 12% correction, they are considering Bitcoin to be a fairly cheap price right here if they're accumulating at those levels. Basically, the Fear and Greed Index, we are still sitting it at neutral, and as I said, if we get another drop further, we will get right back into that fear zone. We might potentially go deeper than the last 2 times if Bitcoin starts dropping to one of those targets below right here that I have just told you. The long versus shorts ratio, you can see on the major exchanges, we do have more shorts another day in a row in the market basically. So for sure, shorts are in control of the markets basically. So this is something that you wanna watch out for. And as I have said, tomorrow we do have very important news. So that will be it for today's update video, guys. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for the channel, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.